When I went to Jewish Academy, which might be a little bit different from where it is today, but I feel like there's probably similar principles, it was a pretty small, tight-knit group within the student body, and we were very much empowered to have a voice of our own, to shape the way that this school functioned and worked.
Jammed at the time was its first year. It was pioneering, it was very entrepreneurial. If you wanted to do something and demonstrated the enthusiasm to do it, and you had like an itch that you wanted to scratch, then you would talk to some school administrator or teacher and say, I want to do this, and they were so encouraging of whatever you wanted to do.
I can't tell you enough how many teachers I had who took an interest in me, who would talk with me about the kind of person that I wanted to become. And that individual care is such a unique part of the FJA community.
The Jewish Academy was a place where students who are self-starters can thrive, but there's also great opportunity for kids like me that needed a little extra help, needed the encouragement, and the staff and faculty was great at putting me in a position where it was interesting for me to engage.
I just think about all the all-stars that were faculty members at the Jewish Academy, and I just remember like how much of an impact they made on my life.
We would have these study sessions right before midterms and finals where all of the classmates would get together at someone's house to have study sessions. But I think what made it really special was that our teacher would actually come to those study sessions outside of school hours to be with us in this really casual environment to make sure that we really understood the material and felt comfortable for the exam.
Funny story, I once went to a Foo Fighters and Bob Dylan concert with Rabbi Baruch, my Talmud teacher. The community, it really stretched beyond just inside the school. You really felt like you had a family at Frankel Jewish Academy.
It's very rare, I think, in other settings where you literally know and have friends in like basically every single grade in a school. But here, a lot of my friends during high school were in the grade above me or like the grade below me. There's just a lot of opportunities here that I would not have probably been able to get in a public school setting.
Town hall was always something that was a little different that we did at the Jewish Academy that my friends at other high schools didn't do. But I understand now that it was a way to get the whole school together and to create that community feel. And years later, town hall still exists every Friday morning.
The whole school knew of each other, and when we were in yearbook, we didn't have to go out and ask other people. We all knew who everyone was.
Everybody had their place, and it was just a great amalgamation of people that just made it really fun to be at school every day.
It was really a community on top of a school, and that I remember after graduation, my entire class sat in a circle and shared memories together, and it had sort of this camp feel in addition to being high school.
I really took to heart the idea of the Jewish Academy just being a community school of all different types of Jews that do really different things and practice Judaism in really different ways, and that kind of set a groundwork of how I kind of view the world and how I view the Jewish community and what I hope for the Jewish community.
It was the first time that I really got to know people who were modern Orthodox, in addition to having classmates who are conservative and reform, and I just loved the diversity of Judaism that comes together at FJA.
It was cool each day to pretty much learn a new thing every day, especially for me coming from public school. Each day of Hebrew, I was learning something new, and then whether it was learning about the Bible or about Jewish culture, each day was a new experience.
FJA just made me more of a well-rounded person. It really nurtured my interest both in science and in art, which is something that I'm still very interested in. Whether I was doing the plays or studying biology, I think that was really some of the very first inclination I had towards science and also arts. And I think that's something that I still bring with me and is still really important in my life.
There was a spirit of experimentation and exploration and creativity that infused what it meant to go to school every day. Just remember the camaraderie of being guinea pigs, of wandering around a trailer, and even before that, being in the basement of the JCC and feeling like high school was one really important moment in our lives, but it was also one moment along the continuum of personal development.
Jewish Academy was a place that, because it's a smaller and more intimate environment, you're not really allowed to slip between the cracks. And I think what jammed really taught me one of the most valuable lessons is that it taught me how to try at things that are difficult.
As we were standing beneath the chuppah at our wedding, many of the friends who were there with us and surrounding us on really the happiest days of our lives were friends that we made at FJA, and it was really such a special place and had such a special impact on our lives.
Attending Jewish Academy really prepared me for my business career. It forced me to be diversified, forced me to learn and establish team, and going through the rigorous curriculum forced me to understand multitasking, which has helped me become a great entrepreneur.
I think that in high school you have the opportunity to go to class and do your homework and you'll learn and you'll be just fine, or you can do more than that, and that's what FJA sort of taught me, was that you can take initiative to fight for something and challenge for something that you want, and that you'll have this whole community of staff and teachers who will be supportive of you. And having that confidence that I learned in a safe, supportive community has been really helpful for me as I've gone into college and into my jobs afterwards.
When I think back to how I started my own business, I think about the confidence that I was given and the resources that were available to me, that I knew were available to me when I was in 9th grade, and they were telling us that we should start our own clubs and maybe even start our own classes.
My time at FJA taught me, above everything else, I think the importance of community. Moving to Los Angeles was a big move for both me and for my wife, Nina. But fortunately, we really managed to create a wonderful community out here. We regularly host Shabbat dinners where we invite anywhere from 2 to 6 or 7 friends for a home-cooked Friday night Shabbat meal.
There's a direct correlation between hard work and results in anything you do, and I think that the teachers that I had at Jewish Academy, that was kind of always what they were trying to impress upon me, making that connection and the correlation between putting in the work, putting in the hours, and getting the result, and feeling good about the result. That has carried through absolutely into my professional life and into our personal life also.
In either 9th or 10th grade, I can't quite remember, I was placed into a class called Intermediate Talmud with Rabbi Azaria Cohen. And those types of debates and those types of conversations that we had in that class are the same types of debates and conversations that I had in law school, that I currently have as a law clerk, and that I think I will have throughout my legal career.
For me, it was a pretty natural transition going from having my experiences at the Jewish Academy during high school and then going to work for a startup where you had to wear many different hats. You're asked to do certain things that aren't necessarily part of your job description, and the way that you prove your value at any company is to do what needs to get done to help the company out. We felt that way while I was at the academy, and I certainly felt that way at my job when I joined it, and I think it's done me well as well.
Mazel tov on your 20 years FJA.
Mazel tov FJA on your 20th year from the founder of the FJA Yiddish Club.
Mazel tov FJA on 20 years from the first Jaguar mascot.
From Alice in Wonderland, Mazel tov on your 20th year FJA.
Mazel tov FJA on your 20th year from the person who created the Intergrade Masquerade and the person who created Paradigm for a Pair of Dimes.
Mazel tov FJA on your 20th year.
Mazel tov FJA on your 20th year. And go Jags.
Mazel tov FJA on your 20th year.
Looking forward to 20 more.